Hey everyone, it's Andy Webster with Pure Life Realty. If you've been watching the news lately, you've probably seen the headlines shouting about inflation moving in the wrong direction again. But before anyone panics, let's talk a little bit about what this is going to do to the housing market and what it means for your next move. The government tracks inflation using something called the PCE Index. If you look at the yellow line on this graph, you can see a recent spike. A major culprit here is the conflict in the Middle East. Have you heard about that yet? Which has driven gas and energy prices way up. But look at the blue line, that's called core PCE, which strips out those volatile energy prices. I think food as well. The Federal Reserve actually watches this line the closest. Is this encouraging news? Well, core inflation isn't rising nearly as fast. This suggests that once things settle down overseas, the overall inflation should settle too. So how does this tie to the housing market? When inflation stays high, the Fed keeps interest rates elevated to cool down that spending. And right now, if you go to the CME Fed Tool Watch tool, it shows that there's roughly a 50-50 chance the Fed might actually raise the rates before the end of the year. But it's too early to tell right now, okay? If you've been waiting on the sidelines for rates to drop, higher for longer is still very much in the reality. Now, I want to be incredibly clear. A tough economy does not mean like a housing crash is going to happen. This is not 2008. Back then, lending standards were loose and the market was flooded with inventory. Today, housing inventory is still incredibly low. Homeowners are sitting on mass amounts of equity, and lending rules are still pretty strict. So today's challenge is really affordability. The market feels hard, but hard and crashing are two totally different things. So the good news is that you still have options. You can talk to your lender about maybe an adjustable rate mortgage. Maybe they have some options for that. There's seller concessions to lower your upfront costs. We can talk about rate buydowns to get the first 2 or 3 years at a lower rate. If you want to cut through all that noise and figure out a plan that might be beneficial for you, send us a message, reach out. We can get you connected with a great lender, and let's talk.